3:15 a.m. The stillness of the South China Sea is shattered by a deafening explosion. A single missile launched from a hidden U.S. destroyer strikes China's most fortified naval base. In an instant, the base erupts in flames, its defenses torn apart. Within seconds, a relentless volley of Tomahawk missiles follows, hitting targets with deadly precision. Command centers, airfields, and missile silos disintegrate in a fiery inferno. The attack is swift, overwhelming, and decisive. China's vast military infrastructure is caught off guard, crumbling before it can even respond. This is no accident. The U.S. Navy, under the command of General John Matthews, has launched a surprise strike, a tactical masterstroke. What happened in those moments to bring China to its knees so quickly? The Pacific has shifted, and the U.S. has once again asserted its dominance. Don't just watch, engage. If military analysis matters to you, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Your voice fuels our mission to deliver truth beneath the headlines. The strike begins in total silence, an eerie calm that masks the chaos soon to unfold. General John Matthews, head of the U.S. 7th Fleet, stands aboard the flagship USS Nimitz, watching as the clock ticks toward 3:15 a.m. Every detail of the operation has been meticulously planned. The fleet, a powerful and silent force, moves in formation under the cover of darkness, positioned just beyond the reach of China's radar. Matthews knows the South China Sea like the back of his hand. Every reef, every island, every choke point. At precisely 3:17 a.m., the first missile is launched. The USS Stout, a Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, sends a Tomahawk missile soaring toward the heart of China's sprawling naval base on Hainan Island. The missile is supersonic, leaving no time for defense systems to react. It slams into a radar tower, creating a brilliant flash of destruction. Less than 30 seconds later, another missile hits a fuel depot, igniting a fireball that can be seen miles away. In the chaos, a second wave of Tomahawk strikes, targeting China's most valuable assets. Airfields housing advanced J-20 stealth fighters and missile silos that could launch counterattacks. These facilities are critical to China's control over the South China Sea. In an instant, they're rendered useless. But General Matthews isn't finished. The USS Nimitz, carrying the heart of America's air power, launches its first F-35C Lightning II fighters into the sky. These stealth jets are designed to dominate any battlefield. Invisible to radar and deadly in their precision, they immediately engage China's air defense systems, picking off surface-to-air missile batteries with pinpoint accuracy. Each strike is a calculated move in a deadly game of chess. The F-35Cs sweep the skies clean, ensuring no Chinese aircraft can retaliate. But Matthews knows the stakes are higher than just tactical victories. He's prepared for China's counterattack, which he expects in the form of waves of ballistic missiles. That's why even as the Nimitz aircraft fly overhead, the fleet's Aegis missile defense system is engaged. The Aegis system is the U.S. Navy's backbone, capable of intercepting multiple ballistic missiles and destroying them mid-flight. As China fires missiles from their coastal defenses, the Aegis system cuts them down one by one. Each interception a testament to the technological superiority of the U.S. Navy. But Matthews' operation is not just about force, it's about precision and intelligence. While the U.S. fleet launches its physical assault, a covert cyber operation is underway. U.S. cyber teams infiltrate China's military networks, cutting off communications between their commanders. Within moments, Chinese forces are left blind and deaf, unable to coordinate or mount a meaningful defense. Their response is scattered, panicked. By 4:30 a.m., China is in disarray. Their coastal defenses are shattered, their air superiority evaporated, and their naval fleet, once a looming threat, is now a shattered remnant of its former self. What was supposed to be a long and drawn-out conflict is quickly turning into an overwhelming defeat for China. The battle is far from over, but the momentum is now undeniably in the hands of the United States. As the sun barely begins to rise over the South China Sea, a critical decision is made on the bridge of the USS Nimitz. General Matthews, watching the unfolding chaos from his command center, knows this is a moment of unparalleled opportunity. China, reeling from the relentless missile barrage and cyber attacks, has yet to fully mount a cohesive counteroffensive. In the span of just 1 hour, the tides have shifted. But Matthews knows the battle isn't over. The U.S. fleet still faces a formidable Chinese retaliation. At 4:45 a.m., China's response begins. A flurry of military assets scrambled from bases on Hainan Island, but the Chinese forces are disoriented, scrambling to regroup after their communications were severed. With airspace dominance already secured by the F-35Cs, the U.S. fleet is in a commanding position. The next phase of the operation kicks off with a devastating strike from the USS Michigan, a ballistic missile submarine that had been lying in wait for hours undetected. With a nearly invisible profile, the submarine launches a barrage of Tomahawk missiles, targeting China's critical naval assets at sea. The missiles fly low over the waves, evading radar detection and smashing into Chinese frigates and destroyers patrolling the South China Sea. The damage is catastrophic. Each ship struck becomes a burning hulk, helpless in the vast ocean. Meanwhile, the USS Ronald Reagan, positioned farther east, launches another wave of F-35C fighters, this time specifically targeting China's growing supply chain of anti-ship missiles. The stealth fighters dart through the air, invisible to China's ground-based radar, and strike at key missile warehouses and launch sites. As explosions tear through the air, the U.S. Navy cripples China's ability to engage in long-range missile combat, effectively neutralizing their maritime threat. But Matthews is no fool. He knows that China's formidable land-based anti-ship missile systems like the DF-21D still pose a significant risk. At 5:30, a U.S. Navy Aegis-equipped cruiser, the USS Lake Erie, begins active defense operations. The Aegis system engages and destroys multiple incoming Chinese missiles before they can even reach the fleet. Each interception adding another victory to the growing list. By now, the Chinese response is faltering. Their jets are unable to take to the skies due to the coordinated F-35C assaults on airfields. The remnants of their naval forces are scattered and ineffective. China's once proud ability to project power in the South China Sea is quickly collapsing under the weight of superior U.S. technology and precision strikes. Matthews watches the battlefield unfold on his screens. The time for full-scale retaliation is now approaching, but the reality is sinking in for the Chinese leadership. Their military capabilities are unraveling faster than they can respond. By 6:20 a.m., the U.S. Navy's dominance is complete. The Chinese naval forces have been devastated. The airfields are obliterated. Coastal missile sites lay silent. The South China Sea, a region of such intense geopolitical competition, is now a symbol of U.S. military might. The balance of power has been decisively altered. By 6:30 a.m., the strategic narrative has shifted completely. The South China Sea, once a contested zone teeming with Chinese naval and air forces, now lies in near silence. The chaos wrought by the early morning strikes is beginning to settle, but the repercussions of this decisive action are far from over. General Matthews, ever the tactician, knows that the real challenge lies in securing total superiority and preventing any chance of a Chinese resurgence. As dawn breaks over the Pacific, the U.S. fleet remains in constant motion. The USS Nimitz and its accompanying destroyers, cruisers, and attack submarines remain in tight formation, keeping the pressure on the retreating Chinese forces. But Matthews is also mindful of the psychological warfare that plays out in real time. The Chinese military has been shattered, not just physically, but mentally. Their infrastructure is in ruins, their command structure crippled. But it's the remaining weapons of mass destruction, nuclear-capable missiles that must be neutralized before the U.S. takes its final step. At 7 a.m., Matthews makes a bold decision. He orders a targeted strike on the Chinese underground command facilities located on the island of Hainan. Using a series of precision-guided bunker-busting bombs dropped from F-35C jets, the U.S. Navy aims to destroy the last remnants of Chinese command and control capability. These airstrikes are not just about reducing China's ability to retaliate. They are about delivering a final blow to any hope of mounting an organized resistance. With every strike, Matthews deepens his grip on the region. But the U.S. is aware that despite China's crippled infrastructure, a final counterstrike could still be coming from their strategic missile silos. At 7:30 a.m., the USS Alaska, a nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine, is ordered to move into position. While its presence remains covert, the sub's launch readiness gives the U.S. the ultimate deterrent against any desperate measures by China. With its array of Trident II missiles capable of reaching targets anywhere in China, the USS Alaska stands as the ultimate signal. Any retaliation will be met with unmatched escalation. However, Matthews doesn't take this lightly. The U.S. Navy-AS dominance in the South China Sea is not just a display of raw power. It is the culmination of decades of strategy, technology, and precise planning. The Aegis defense systems aboard every U.S. vessel remain fully engaged, continuously intercepting any missiles or incoming threats. The vast array of layered defense systems, ranging from close-in defense weapons to sophisticated radar networks, ensure that the fleet remains virtually untouchable. In the span of a few short hours, China's ability to contest this region has been completely neutralized.